The Old Man's Secret to Happiness. Long ago, in a quiet town surrounded by green hills and peaceful rivers, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel had a comfortable life. He had a good job, a small house, and many opportunities. But despite all these things, Daniel was not happy. Every day he felt restless. He believed that something was missing in his life, although he did not know exactly what it was. When he saw wealthy people, he wished he had more money. When he saw successful professionals, he wished he had more status. When he saw couples walking happily together, he wished his life were more meaningful. No matter what he had, it never seemed enough. Because of this, Daniel often felt frustrated and disappointed. One evening, after another stressful day at work, Daniel decided to take a walk through a quiet park near his house. The sun was slowly setting, and the sky was painted with soft orange and golden colors. Birds were flying back to their nests, and the cool evening air felt calm and peaceful. As Daniel walked along a small path, he noticed an old man sitting on a wooden bench. The old man looked very calm. His face showed many wrinkles, but his eyes were bright and full of warmth. He seemed completely at peace. Daniel sat down on the same bench. After a few moments of silence, Daniel spoke. "Sir," he said politely, "may I ask you something?" The old man smiled gently. "Of course," he replied. Daniel hesitated for a moment before asking his question. "Why do some people live happy lives while others are always unhappy?" The old man looked at Daniel carefully. Instead of answering immediately, he asked a question of his own. "Tell me, young man," he said, "what do you think happiness is?" Daniel thought for a moment. "I think happiness means having everything you want," he answered. The old man smiled softly. "That is what many people believe," he said. "But let me tell you a story." The old man began speaking slowly. "Many years ago, I knew two men who lived in the same village. The first man was very rich. He owned a large house, beautiful cars, and many expensive things. The second man was poor. He lived in a small house and worked very hard every day just to support his family. From the outside, it seemed obvious which man should be happier. Daniel nodded. "Of course," he said, "the rich man." The old man continued, "But the truth was very different. The rich man was always worried. He feared losing his money. He was never satisfied with what he had. Every day he wanted more. Meanwhile, the poor man appreciated every small thing in his life. He enjoyed spending time with his family. He was grateful for his work and for the food on his table. And because of this, the poor man slept peacefully every night." Daniel listened carefully. "But how is that possible?" he asked. The old man leaned slightly forward. "Because," he said, "happiness does not come from having everything. It comes from appreciating what you already have." Daniel sat quietly.
The old man continued speaking. "You see, many people spend their entire lives chasing happiness. They believe happiness will arrive when they earn more money, when they get a better job, or when they achieve a certain goal. But when they finally reach those things, they quickly begin chasing something new." Daniel slowly nodded. "That sounds exactly like my life," he admitted. The old man smiled kindly. "That is because you are searching for happiness in the wrong place." Daniel looked curious. "Then where should I look?" The old man pointed toward the peaceful park around them. "Look around you," he said. "The warm sunlight, the sound of birds, the fresh air. These simple things bring peace if you allow them to. True happiness is not something you chase, it is something you recognize. Daniel thought about the old man's words. For the first time in a long time, he began to notice the quiet beauty of the park. The gentle wind moved through the trees. Children were laughing in the distance. The world suddenly felt calmer. "But how can I learn to feel that way every day?" Daniel asked. The old man gave a thoughtful answer. Start with gratitude. Every morning, think about 3 things you are thankful for. They can be small things: a meal on your table, a friend who supports you, a new day full of possibilities. When you train your mind to see what is good in your life, happiness begins to grow naturally. Daniel felt something change inside him. The problem was not his job, it was not his house, it was not the people around him. The problem was how he looked at his life. He had spent years focusing on what he did not have, but he had never truly appreciated what he already possessed. Daniel stood up and smiled. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "You have given me something more valuable than money." The old man nodded gently. "Remember," he said, "happiness is not a destination, it is a way of seeing the world." That night, Daniel returned home with a new perspective. Before going to bed, he thought about 3 things he was grateful for: a stable job, a comfortable home, and the wise words of a kind old man. For the first time in many months, Daniel slept peacefully. From that day forward, Daniel's life slowly changed. He was still the same person, he still had the same job, but his mindset was different. Instead of constantly chasing more, he began appreciating the present, and little by little, happiness became a natural part of his life. And so, Daniel discovered the old man's secret. Happiness is not found in wealth, status, or endless achievements. It is found in gratitude, in contentment, and in learning to appreciate the simple blessings that already exist in our lives. Moral of the story: true happiness does not come from having everything. It comes from appreciating what you already have.